In the silent, blazing Sahara, when the sun finally dips below the horizon and the air still holds the day's brutal heat, night falls, a time when everyday rules give way to ancient, unwritten laws. On this night, under twinkling stars, an invisible whisper runs between nomadic camps. And sometimes, in a secluded dwelling, behind modest walls, anticipation hangs in the air. A fleeting glance, barely noticeable smile, and suddenly, through darkness and sand, a figure makes their way, seeking warmth and closeness. Without words, without rush, with respect for the night's peace. This is how the Wodaabe live. Desert people whose daily social norms seem strict and unyielding, yet whose intimate customs amaze with their freedom. Here, in the heart of the Sahara, everything is different, especially when it comes to the most personal connections. Not because there are no rules, but because their rules are different, forged by harsh nomadic life, endless desert expanses, and deep respect for each person's individual choice. While our familiar world builds walls around marriage bonds, the Wodaabe tear them down. The Fulani people, scattered across boundless sands, know the price of separation. When spouses often go their separate ways for months due to the need to move in search of water and grazing land, an understanding emerges that human desire knows no boundaries or distances. Here, in this scorching cradle of life, intimate relationships become not the heavy burden of obligations, but a light, breathing art where consent and respect reign supreme. We seek marital stability. They seek momentary consent. And this isn't a whim, it's a way of existence. The Sahara dictates its own laws, and one of them is the value of connection that can emerge and flourish even for one night, without conditions and without judgment. Perhaps the most amazing thing about Wodaabe traditions is the complete freedom of female choice. Here, a woman doesn't wait to be chosen. She can take the initiative herself, invite a man who catches her eye. And it doesn't matter if he's married, or if she herself is married. This isn't condemned. It's accepted as a natural expression of human attraction. For us, this is nonsense, a violation of all conventions. For them, it's normal, part of their deep philosophy where priority is given to consent and harmony, not rigid social prohibitions. In their culture, young people have the opportunity to meet and build friendships before starting families, freely developing interpersonal communication skills. There are no rigid social restrictions on interactions between young men and women, no criticism for social experiments or setbacks in forming connections. Such interactions are viewed as a natural part of personal development and studying human psychology. This experience promotes self-discovery, helps form personal values, and a clear understanding of desirable qualities in a future partner, leading to more informed life choices. Secret nighttime meetings aren't sinful acts. threats, but a delicate dance of hints. A man comes to a woman at her dwelling, and this always happens only with her clear consent. There's no coercion, no hidden motives. There's only mutual attraction, expressed through an almost imperceptible but universally understood language of gestures and glances. Brief eye contact, a fleeting smile, a barely detectable hand movement, and no words are needed. This non-verbal connection serves as an invitation, a key to a door that opens only for those who understand this secret desert language, more important than any words. While in other cultures, jealousy can destroy entire families, among the Wodaabe, it's almost absent in the form familiar to us. Society doesn't condemn intimate relationships outside marriage, perceiving them as a natural part of life. This doesn't mean chaos. It means deep understanding of human nature. Here on the sand, they don't build walls. They build bridges between hearts, allowing them to freely find each other. In this world, where survival depends on continuous movement and adaptation, there's no place for petty jealousy. If a woman chooses to be with another man, it's her choice. It's not disputed, not stigmatized with shame. Not because they don't know jealousy, but because they know the price of freedom and the value of consent. This is deep wisdom, forged by centuries of wandering. Marriage here isn't the end of freedom. A married woman can enter relationships with another man, and this happens with consent, and sometimes with the tacit approval of the community. Such connections not only satisfy personal desires, but also, at times, strengthen kinship and alliance relationships between clans. Intimate meetings can be not only personal, but also a social contract, a symbol of trust and mutual aid in the harsh desert world. This is pragmatism elevated to art. It's not customary here to condemn those who seek closeness outside traditional frameworks. What's more important is that everything happens by mutual consent and without harm to the general order. Relationships here can last one night or continue for years, but always without obligations in our usual understanding. No one demands oaths or eternal promises. The main thing is the moment, here and now, mutual attraction and the joy of closeness. A connection born on sand is light as sand, but strong as rock, if both will it. Here, they don't seek eternal love. They seek true closeness in this moment, which can be ephemeral but always genuine. This is acceptance of life's impermanence reflected in the most personal connections. Consent and respect are the priority in all their intimate interactions. And another unique trait that distinguishes the Wodaabe. Partner evaluation here doesn't happen based on wealth, status, or origin, but on beauty and health. Physical attractiveness, grace, endurance, bodily harmony, these are what's valued above all. These qualities are considered indicators of strong lineage and ability to survive in harsh conditions. This manifests in how Wodaabe men pay enormous attention to their appearance. They spend hours preparing for holidays and rituals, applying complex makeup, adorning themselves with beads and shells, carefully watching their posture and graceful movements. This isn't narcissism, but a deeply rooted aspect of their seduction culture, where every man strives to present himself in the best light to attract the desired woman. They're not afraid to be beautiful, they live for it. Every gesture, every glance is an invitation, a declaration. Here, men don't wait for compliments, they seek them in women's eyes. This is a whole ritual of self-affirmation, passing under the watchful gaze of free women who are their true judges. This unique approach to choice and intimacy reaches its climax during the famous Garhwal ritual, an annual dance competition where men compete in beauty, dancing, and demonstrating their best qualities. This isn't just a show, it's the culmination of their entire philosophy, when all Wodaabe culture, all their freedom and aesthetics bursts forth in a bright, mesmerizing spectacle. Men with carefully lined eyes, painted lips, and elaborate hairstyles, in multi-layered outfits, spend hours perfecting their movements. Their smiles showing the whiteness of their teeth, their tall, slender silhouettes, their inner concentration, all this is designed to draw attention. It's competition without hostility. It's a demonstration of spiritual strength and bodily harmony, meant not to humiliate competitors, but to elevate one's own nature. Women are the true judges at this celebration. It's their choice, their fleeting glance, their barely noticeable sign that determines the winner. And this choice is often unpredictable to outside observers, but absolutely logical for the Wodaabe. It's not dictated by status or wealth, but based on deep evaluation of external manifestations of inner strength, health, and harmony. Here, they don't choose the right ones. They choose the brightest, most attractive, those whose beauty reflects their life force. After all, in the desert, beauty isn't just aesthetics, it's a promise of endurance, health, and resilience. We, accustomed to clear boundaries and obligations, might call their way of life chaotic. But for the Wodaabe, this is a deeply ordered system where every person, every connection has its place. Connections strengthen kinship and alliance relationships, creating a complex network of interdependence. Intimacy can be not only personal, but also a social contract, a symbol of trust and mutual aid in the harsh desert world. If a man from one clan enters relationships with a woman from another, this can signal the establishment or strengthening of broader inter-clan connections. This is pragmatism elevated to art. It's not customary here to condemn those who seek closeness outside traditional frameworks. What's more important is that everything happens by mutual consent and without harm to the general order. One of the most striking aspects of their culture is the practically complete absence of guilt and shame that so often accompany intimate relationships in other societies. Here, there's no concept of sin in the usual sense related to bodily pleasures or free relationships. Society doesn't create taboos that pressure the psyche and generate internal conflicts. The absence of jealousy in its familiar form and acceptance of female choice allows Wodaabe women to live in harmony with their own desires, not suppressing them and not experiencing fear of condemnation, allowing energy to flow freely. Their nomadic lifestyle, constant movement, doesn't allow attachment to material goods or rigid structures. Intimate relationships reflect this mobility. A connection can last one night, can be renewed after months or years if paths cross again and mutual attraction remains. There are no obligations, no promises that can be broken by time or distance. There's only here and now, mutual consent and respect for the moment. You don't build houses on sand, you build moments on sand. This phrase reflects their philosophy, where value lies not in durability, but in intensity and authenticity of experience. The Wodaabe dwelling, a light, portable hut made of sticks and hides that they call sudu, is a symbol of this freedom and openness. It's not a fortress, but temporary shelter that can be easily assembled and moved. It provides privacy, but not isolation. Inside the sudu, life's most personal moments occur, yet its walls let in the desert wind and night's whisper. This is space for intimacy, but not for possession. There are no locks and keys here, only respect for personal space and freedom of movement. If you've received an invitation to enter, you're trusted. And this trust extends to all aspects of interaction. In the end, what can we learn from the Wodaabe? Perhaps it's understanding that love and intimacy can take the most varied forms here. That true respect for a person means recognizing their freedom, not trying to hold on to or remake them. That at the foundation of everything lies consent, and that the strongest connections can be invisible, woven from mutual attraction and absence of expectations. In our world, where there's so much pain from broken promises, the Wodaabe live, reminding us that genuine connection is a gift, not a right. They show that where desert heat reigns, where there's no place for excess, unique, unbridled freedom is born. And perhaps such freedom is the true path to deep, though ephemeral, harmony.